Hello everyone, my name is MrJepthah, and I have a question for you. If Mario and Luigi are plumbers, then why haven't we gotten a game yet where Mario and Luigi do a plumb? Seriously, we've seen these guys do so much. Save a princess, fight a giant dragon turtle, be superheroes, doctors, raccoons, frogs, arsonists, political activists, nerds, and steroid users, but we still have yet to get a game called Mario and Luigi Plumbing Simulator. Personal rant aside, the Mario Brothers franchise has had quite the variety of experiences, from the original 2D side-scrollers to the drunk D&D campaigns where they got bored and just turned themselves into pieces of paper. But the big branch of the franchise that has made them so accessible to people who don't even play video games is, of course, Mario Kart. And sports games. We're talking about those. Over the years, we have seen Mario play a variety of sports. He's played golf, baseball, volleyball, basketball, hockey, dodgeball, Olympics, gambling, the greatest sport ever, boredom, and of course, tennis. Also known as that thing I saw my grandpa watching that one Saturday afternoon. Tennis is a sport where you and your opponent battle by hitting a ball back and forth over a net that stands in between you two. No, not that one. No, that's, badminton? I think you're close though. What? Why would you know? There's no net in that sport. That's not even a sport. Each time the ball is hit, it is allowed to bounce at least once on the opposing side before returning it. If it bounces twice, it's a point for the other side. If it goes out of bounds on the first bounce, it's a point for whoever side that is. Now, I'm sure you think that the point system for this game is easy. It's probably 1, 2, 3, just as easy as can be. But it's literally the dumbest point system I've ever seen for any sport, ever. The first point you get, you go straight to 15. Okay, that's fine. We're going by 15s. I can do simple math to know that 2 scores gives you 30 points. So naturally, the next number is gonna be 45, right? Wrong! 30 plus 15 is 40, didn't you know that? Oh, and if you have no points, you actually have love points, which, if my wife is watching, is the best kind of points. Do you mind if I make the rules more confusing? If you and your opponent tie at 40 points, you guys are now at deuce points, which is really disgusting if you think too hard about it. Whoever gets the next point has advantage and has to score again to win the game. But not the whole game, as you keep competing to win sets. Win enough sets pending the tournament rules, and you win the match. And that's the game. I say all of that totally not confusing set of rules to say that I actually really like tennis. My wife and I play it, not well, but we play it, and I always catch a match or two when the US Open happens. And I attribute that weird part of my sports fandom to 2 things. My great-grandfather watched tennis a lot, as well as a few other great memories I have of tennis. And second, this game, Mario Tennis for the Nintendo 64. My brother, my cousins, and I played this game all the time on our uncle's N64 back in the day. And it's one of the first games I ever remember playing. It's probably not the first, but it's definitely one of them. And thanks to the Switch Online, we can relive those memories of playing this very simple game despite all the confusing rules. Camelot Software had been developers of Sega games, but they eventually moved over to develop for Nintendo, and specifically, every Mario sports title. We won't hold it against them though. And it all began with golf. I have probably only played 1 game of the original Mario Golf, and it's okay, but not the golf game I want to play for whatever reason. But their second game in the series was Mario Tennis, which to this day is my favorite Mario sports game. These games also got Game Boy Color games, also developed by Camelot, that are not really the same thing as their respective N64 counterparts. I mean, this is tennis, sure, but it plays differently and has more focus on stupid anime children instead of the reason I bought this game. But I'm not gonna look at those versions because I don't wanna. We're just gonna focus on playing the original N64 version. Being a sports game, you gotta have a story, right? The game opens on this opening cinematic that tells the story of the Star Tournament. Everyone in the Mario universe is here, including the flat ones Mario has stomped on all these years. Toad is of course the play-by-play man because he's got the bigger mouth, and a Bamam is the color commentator. which is still better than listening to Chris Collinsworth.
Oh my goodness, he has just huge thighs.
But all the meanwhile, two menacing figures look on from the shadows. The tournament goes off without a hitch, and also, I think a paratrooper dies. The final battle for the Star Cup, Trophy Cup, is between Mario and Luigi. Of course. I don't suspect any foul play by the refs, especially considering the referee is literally Mario! Then, two new challengers approach. Wario from the Mario Land games, and a brand new character created for this game. Waluigi! Everyone's favorite Smash character. Too soon? And they're miffed that they didn't get an invite to the big tournament. And Luigi disses them for not knowing how to swing a tennis racket or something, which makes Waluigi mad. They're about to throw down, and Mario tries to get between them when Wario challenges Mario. Listen, Wario, you took Mario's third land game. He doesn't owe you nothing. The ladies watch their men about to fight in horror when all of a sudden, space aliens come down from the sky. Actually, it's just Bowser and Boo. And they're miffed that they didn't get an invitation too. Actually, they're uncharacteristically happy. Like, they just want to have fun. Not only am I thrown off, but so is everyone else seemingly. They agree to go ahead and start the tournament all over again. Because that's how it works. Remember that time Serena Williams couldn't make it to the US Open until the final round, and they all agreed to restart the tournament after she got there? So they all celebrate that they get to play more tennis. But the is upset that he has to go back to his color commentary work.
He has just huge thighs.
And decides to go kamikaze on the whole operation, to everyone's horror! And that was the end of the Mario franchise. Wait, why weren't Shy Guy and Donkey Kong Jr. invited? There are many different modes to begin your journey. You can play a regular old exhibition mode with any of these 14 characters, or 16 depending on if you unlock the two mystery characters. Each of them have a specific play type, so you can have a different variety in your matches. There's speed and power, which are pretty self-explanatory. They're either fast or strong. If you're fast, you're weaker. If you're strong, you're slower. And then there's technical, which just means the characters hit to the edge of the court with perfect precision. Tricky, which is the worst and I hate it so much, because after the ball is hit, it becomes wildly unpredictable direction-wise. And Mario and Luigi are the only all-around characters in the game, which is just a boring, balanced version of all the other types combined. But it does make it accessible to new people trying the game out for the first time. Each court not only has a different color or look, it also has a different function. That being said, even with the different stats for the courts, I pick them more for their aesthetics rather than their functions. Even though I hate the slow and weak clay court, it is kind of fun having that color. It may be an ugly brown, but it's not green, and I absolutely hate green. The actual game itself is not going to be everyone's cup of tea. Before you play this game, just ask yourself, do you like tennis? Yep, that's just what the main game mode is. It's just tennis with Mario characters. Is that all? I could just do that on the weekends.
Mamma mia!
The gameplay is quite simple. Run around with the joystick and hit the ball with the button. Luckily, it isn't all that simple. You've got several different shots to perform. You can hit a topspin shot by hitting the A button while aiming with the stick. Pressing B creates a slice shot. Just aim with the stick. Press A, then B, and you can make a lob shot to hit it over your opponent's head. Sometimes it works, and sometimes it allows your opponent to set up for an easy shot back. There's also a powerful shot you can perform when you hit both A and B simultaneously. Even though it's a super powerful hit, it isn't easy to perform. You could also charge your shot by pressing and holding whatever shot button you're about to perform. And then you'll begin to see beams around you, and then lightning bolts, and then whiff. At the beginning of each point, you have to serve the ball. And I love taking this opportunity to mess with my friends by throwing the ball up in the air and not serving.
Justin, stop screwing around.
I could do this all day. You can also choose if you're playing right or left-handed. I guess that's kind of cool. I don't think it really changes anything, but it's a cool feature. I think.
Going to do him left-handed.
Know what a hurry we're in!
Also, anytime you take a shot while over a star, you make a jump slap shot to send the ball over your opponent's heads. Or at their heads. I guess if you have no interest in tennis, or at the very least have no idea what a tennis is, I can't fit this in my mouth, there are other game modes. These add some fun, spicy things to amp up your play sessions, rather than just boring old exhibitions. There's a tournament mode, because what would a sports game be without a tournament or playoff mode? Oh yeah, bad. By beating the Mushroom Cup with specific characters, you can unlock some new courses. And beating the Star Cup in singles, you'll unlock Shy Guy, and in doubles, you'll unlock Diddy Kong. Wait, that's not Diddy Kong! Who asked for Donkey Kong Jr.? Diddy Kong was not only a huge character from the Donkey Kong Country series, but by this point, Diddy had his own game! 3 years earlier! Sorry if I seem a little mad about this, but, who is Donkey Kong Jr.? Who asked for this? I'm only half kidding. Obviously, DK Jr. was a big part of Nintendo's history, and they needed another character with a power type since there were only 3, and Diddy would have just been another speed type character, and there's only 3 of those. So this still makes no sense. When you win the Star Cup, your reward is to get to sit there and watch a partial replay of your championship game with the credits, as well as see a picture of the box art that says, "Congratulations." Boy, I'm so glad I went through all that to see what I could have been looking at the whole time. There's also some secret tournaments to unlock if you win all of the cups with all 16 characters. I could not do this, because I could barely do it with 1. There's also another game mode called Ring Shot, where you have to hit the ball through these polygon Sonic the Hedgehog rings. There are multiple different versions of this mode, such as a mode where you and your opponent compete to get as many rings as possible and take them all after scoring a real tennis point. And sometimes, instead of competing against your opponent, you both work together to get the ball through the rings and beat the objective. It's fun and all, but it's given me some strange vibes. I can't put my finger on it. Bowser Stage is a fun arcade mode involving power-ups similar to Mario Kart. Hit the colorful floating boxes and you get to use banana peels, mushrooms, lightning bolts, stars, and green and red Koopa shells, just like in Mario Kart. And on top of that, you have to be wary of the angle of the court, as gravity can play tricks on you. Definitely one of the more challenging modes, and if you're looking for something more akin to Mario Kart with this game, this mode is for you. Speaking of challenging modes, the Piranha Challenge is where you're all alone against 4 players, 3 of which are piranha plants spitting balls at you. Your goal is to hit as many balls back to the other side out of the reach of your opponent as tennis balls continuously get spit out at you. If you get every single one, you unlock this court that is only for this mode. It's really not worth it. I mean, seriously, why couldn't this court be used in the main game mode, huh? There's also a demo mode where if you don't want to play the video game, you can just watch them instead. Oh good, like my life wasn't sounding sad enough already. The presentation of this game is pretty decent. There's so much I could say about it. I love it when sports games have a perfect style of presentation. Cool looking scoreboard, cutaways, graphics, they're all the perfect overlays to a game like this. It might look bare bones by today's standards, but back in 2000, this was pretty cutting edge. The menus in this game are pretty impressive too. Call it nostalgia, but there's something about these throbbing circles with characters' faces I find aesthetically pleasing. What I don't find aesthetically pleasing is the fact that the main menu title words are placed in front of this random slate containing the words Mario Tennis. I find that kind of off-putting, as well as the matching slate on the opposing side of the screen being partially covered by Toad's speech bubble. I'm sorry if there are any fans of these random pieces, it just doesn't work here. Now the character selection screen is really awesome to me. As a kid, I always kind of saw these character icons, sort of like gold coins with the characters' faces on them, and I still kind of think that. It's even cooler when you use a character to win the Star Tournament, and then you get this shiny new overlay around their picture. And when you hover over them to select them, they get shiny sparklies all around them. It's pretty cool, despite the girly way I described it. The same shimmer appears on the unlockable characters' icons. I know that it's a sign of the technology of the time, but these figures are way weirder to look at than I remember. So many polygons! Look at Yoshi's nose! And Birdo's kisser! And Bowser's got so many polygons. There's just so many polygons! Also, some of the faces are very off-putting. More so than I remember. Just fair to warn you, these images I'm about to show you may haunt your nightmares. Toad's face seems fine, a little bare, but not terribly creepy. Peach and Daisy's faces are a little weird, but it's Waluigi's face that scares me the most. Seriously, that face model is terrifying. I'm sure it's intentional, but oh boy is this unnerving. I can't remember how I felt about it as a kid, but as an adult, I have a new item to add to my top 10 list of things that terrify me. Then we move on to the court selection screen. This is really cool. You can view your whole collection of courts on this giant wheel, and this again is aesthetically pleasing to me. I mean, all of my hard work unlocking every single one of these courses is here, and I can see it all at once. It gives me a greater appreciation for all the work I put into this game. There's also some other courts and characters you can unlock from the Game Boy Color version, but only if you use the transfer pack, and so far that's something you can only do with the physical copies of the games, not the Switch Online versions. Which is great, because I don't want to play any more of this garbage. And like I kind of mentioned earlier, I like the character courts. They not only add some fun elements like changes to the ball's speed and power, but aesthetically, they add bursts of color to the enjoyment of each match with the pictures on the court, and even new backdrops and stadium layouts. I love the music in this game. Again, call it nostalgia if you will, but I've always loved this soundtrack. It always gets me pumped up the right way. The only complaint I have for it is that opening title screen music is too short. But more than anything, that menu music is one of the greatest Mario tracks of all time. Certainly the best Mario sports track of all time. It's so chill. As I was playing this game trying to unlock all the stuff I could, some tournaments and matchups were so hard, I would have to return to the main menu and listen to this calming music until I was ready to play again. And that's really what sports video games should do, is have fun, lighthearted, and calming music in their menus, and not stupid heavy metal and rap garbage. That's not gonna calm you down and prepare you for your next matchup. The other music in the game is great too. During the matches, you've got these great tracks that, again, pump you up during the game and are again, really great dance numbers. Before each match, there's this awesome opening video of each player coming out of their respective tunnels, and then cutting to a split screen of them getting ready to square off. Again, it might not be cool by today's standards, but back then, this was legit and awesome. More fun animations in this game include anytime someone gets hit in the face. Call me a monster, but this has always been funny to me. Maybe it's because of a lack of violence in this game, and my craving for violence. Wait, I might actually be a monster. After every play, you get a quick and stylish replay from different angles of what just happened. I mostly end up skipping these, but the fact that they put that here is praiseworthy and shows their commitment to quality. At the end of each match, they show you another cool feature, showing you the stats from your previously played game. There's also a stats screen so you can see what all you've done throughout the game. It's cooler than I make it sound. My favorite part of this section is you get to see all the trophies you've accumulated. I'm not used to seeing this feature in other sports games, so bravo, Nintendo. This is really cool and doesn't make me feel like my trophy just went into the ether like every Lombardi trophy I've ever won and been. Video games are most often fun when you're playing them with friends or other people you're associated with, including enemies.
Try to get up there in time, Spider-Man!
I remember back when we were kids, we greatly enjoyed playing this game together, and we still do to this day. Oh no, oh. No! Austin, I had the perfect.
The game freezes it when another player joins. Wait, should we have? No, hold on.
Austin! I called not being on his team.
I'll be by myself. Screw you guys. Screw you guys. I'm on my own team. Give me my own team.
Guys, this just triggered a memory for me. When we used to play this game as kids, we used to call Birdo Kisser.
Yes, you're right, we did.
Yes, sir. I'm married. Can I please? Can I please?
Sure.
I really don't care.
Oh, in that case, yeah. If you don't care, then let's just see what happens.
Let's just make it funnier, I don't know.
Sorry? Oh my god! What? No,
Oh man, I thought I could get that.
Let's go! Oh yeah!
Oh my goodness. It's not because Austin's good. We know that. Nope.
Ah! Yes! Yes! I got really quiet. Ty, are you good?
And I'm gonna have to leave the call real quick. Hold on.
Okay, cool. Cool beans.
Hey, Justin. Ty's a loser.
We actually discovered something we never knew about this game during our last play session. Whenever your teammate gets in the way of your serve, it sort of hits him. It's honestly kind of hard to tell, but whatever the case, it results in a fault. Oh yeah, I forgot I had that. Did you like run into me?
You can do that.
Wait, what's going on there? In fact, as kids, we came up with a fun inside joke that I have always used when playing this game, and have used in a few videos on this channel.
What?
It's a tie-tie.
That came about from this game, and yes, it's still stuck with us to this day. It will never die, though I will acknowledge that if it wasn't an inside joke that I've been living with for the last 20 years, it probably really wouldn't be that funny.
But MrJepthah.
Oh, hi, Mr. Peanut Juice Man. Did you run all the way here from Mahogany World?
You still need to explain who the Blue Mario referee is.
Oh, yeah. You're right.
I mean, seriously, who or what is it? And why does he only show up for some matches, but not all of them?
Well, I alluded to it earlier, but it certainly needs to be addressed. Why is Mario also the referee? And Blue. As far as I can tell, this is not canonically a separate character from Mario. This character is known as Blue Mario. Therefore, it is Mario. It is the exact same character as Mario, just with a blue hat. It's not like Luigi is known as Green Mario. His character is Luigi. But here's the curious thing. He only shows up in the game when Mario is playing in the match. But when Mario isn't playing in the game, the referee becomes a red-capped Mario instead. I'm sure there are plenty of fan theories, but since Nintendo more than likely doesn't care, here is my theory that I'm going to force into canonicity, because if Nintendo isn't going to give us a definitive answer, I'm going to take it upon myself to answer this for humanity. I now declare myself the chosen one of Mario Canon. Didn't say it was a cool sounding title. This is Mario's twin brother, Marco. Even though they are identical twins, Mario has always been the favorite and the more successful brother of the two, and Luigi would also rise to fame. So Marco would continuously ride on the coattails without any success. In fact, over time, Mario and Luigi would just plain ignore Marco, making Marco very upset with them. So much so, he started an underground mushroom mafia, doing all he can to overthrow the princess and destroy the evil Bowser, so that maybe one day his brothers would see him and accept him once and for all. But then one day, Mario and Luigi approach their formerly estranged brother and ask him to help referee a tennis tournament they were starting. He was so excited that they not only finally acknowledged his existence, but they also wanted his help. His mind raced with all kinds of emotions and promises to disband the Mafia and finally become the Mario brother he always wanted to be. And then they throw in a request that he rig the tournament so they both go to the championship. Suddenly, it was all made clear to Marco that they didn't really care about him. They just wanted him to officiate their little tournament so that he can cheat them to the top. Oh, he would help them cheat their little tournament, but after that, he would crush them. Now, anytime you play any game post-tennis, you may notice that Marco is behind the scenes, using many of his own Koopa Troopas, Goombas, and Toads in undermining his brother's adventures. Some of the mobs you murder aren't Bowser's. They're also in Marco's Mafia. Come on, admit it. That would be really cool in canon. Wait, now that I've said it, it is canon.
Am I a hero? I really can't say, but yes.
In conclusion, this is a very good game. This is a very good sports game. This is a very good Mario sports game. I certainly had a fun time playing this with my good friends back in the day, and even while recording for this video. But what was even more surprising to me was that I had a lot of fun playing this by myself. I mean, I enjoy tennis a lot by myself anyways, but having the typical Mario aesthetic just elevates this game in my mind. I know some people probably won't like the lack of power-ups and special abilities in the main game mode. There's other modes for you to try. As a sports gamer, personally, I really don't care about that. I would personally rather play this and even the newer Mario Tennis Aces without power-ups and just play regular old tennis. Yeah, I'll be the weird one, but there are still ways to play your own way and how you like. I will keep adding to my treasured memories of this game, and I recommend this game highly to anyone who wants a good, wholesome sports game. And seriously, Donkey Kong Jr. instead of Diddy Kong? What were they drinking?